Oh no, we're going with it too. Hey, how's it going? Spy here with another scrap mechanic video. Now, as you can see right in front of me, there is a huge mess, and we're gonna have to clean that up. And to do that, we're gonna be building a bulldozer this episode. Now, it's not gonna be a traditional bulldozer. It's actually going to be a custom bulldozer, as there is no proper tracks. You can build tracks in this game, but it is very difficult. Alright, so here's the chassis for the bulldozer. It doesn't look the greatest, but it will work. So I might extend the tires out one more like that. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. So like I said, the bulldozer is not going to be a traditional type bulldozer, as the chassis is a little funky already. But anyways, this is how I did the suspension. I got 4 shocks, or suspensions as they're called in the game. And the reason I did this like this is so that the suspension can adjust to the terrain, pretty much like the real bulldozers in real life, and similar to tanks. So we're just going to close this up like that. We're going to add our tires, or our tracks. Alright, that looks good. And for the turning, what I did is I actually added thrusters here, and this works pretty good. If you haven't seen my previous videos of my tanks, this is how I designed the turning. Alright, so we're just going to design the upper part of the bulldozer now, and then the cab. And we're going to design the grill now, and I'm going to use these duct holders here, because these ventilation grids and these metal windows are actually way too big for the size of the bulldozer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this for the grill. I don't know how many we really need. I guess we can go 2 more up. Now, I don't know how well the bulldozer is going to look with a pretty big cab, so we're going to have to fiddle with it. Yeah, I think that would be a decent amount of ventilation there. Should probably give this a little design like this. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks alright. I like that. Okay. Alright, so we can design the rest of the bulldozer's body now. We're going to add the engine right about here. We should actually add up multiple engines. I think 2 to 4 would be the right amount, so we can get the right amount of bearings to engines. So we're just going to continue designing this really quick. And I'm going to tell you guys something that happened to me a few days ago while heading to work. It's not a very funny story, but while I was heading to work, not only did I see a pug walking by itself down the sidewalk in town, but the pug was walking backwards. I have no clue what was wrong with the thing. It might have had a neurological problem. I hope not, because that would be sad. Maybe he was just trying to be a cool pug. Let's just hope he was trying to be a cool pug, because I feel bad for that thing. Not only did he not have an owner following him, but he was trying to be cool by walking backwards. So yeah. Okay, I think this is starting to take shape. Actually, that looks pretty cool, actually. I like that. But I don't know if the tracks really suit it. Not sure. It would be a lot better if we actually had the track rubbers. We'll have to fiddle with it. So I'm going to add the cab right about up here. Might as well finish this piece here. What we can actually do, though, with this piece here is we can actually do what a lot of bulldozers have. And have like a little, kind of like a little step path here. And then this goes up like this. Alright, so I think that's starting to look pretty good. The back looks pretty flat, but we'll get that to take shape in a bit. We're just going to finish the cab. We could probably get rid of a lot of this space right here to give us more room in the cab. That's starting to look pretty good. Looks decent. There we go. I think we have room for our seat now. Is it even? It's even. That is sweet. Okay. How's that look? Looks really weird. But maybe once we get the plow on the front and the arms, it'll give it a little more depth, I guess. Okay. Now, how does this look from inside? Ooh, that looks a little low. We could actually probably remove this piece here to give the cab more viewing area. Yeah, I think that looks decent. Looks alright. Alright, so I think that's starting to take shape. It's starting to look good. So we're just going to give the back piece here a slant. Just like this. I don't know how far we really need, but I think that will do. There we go. Maybe a little more of a slant. Okay, how's that look? I think that looks decent. Huh. Okay, and then I think they usually go down a little more. Inwards. Like this. Huh. I think that works. Okay, I think that looks good for the back. Might just need to fix up the cab a little more and give it more room, and then add a ceiling. Okay, that looks good. Gonna extend it out a little more like this. Okay, I think that looks good. And now we're gonna add the ceiling to the bulldozer. There we go. Now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give the bulldozer a slight slant. Alright, so there's the body currently of the bulldozer. It looks quite good, actually. So I'm just going to add a little bit more design to it to give it more of a bulldozer look. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. Hey, that looks pretty good. I like that. Okay. Same thing. Looks decent. This can probably pop out a little bit more. There we go. Looks pretty good. Now, it really sucks that we don't have the actual tracks on this thing, because then we could make it look a little more realistic. Alright, now we're just going to design the plow, and for the plow we need a bearing right here, and we also need a controller somewhere accessible. Right about here is pretty good. Now we're going to hook the controller and the bearings up together like that. Have a bearing on the other side as well. There we go. And now for the arms of the plow, what we're going to do is we're going to have a normal metal block right there. We're going to use these long staircase pieces. I think that looks good. It might be too far out, but I'm not quite sure. Okay. Looks good to me. And now we just have to design the front of the plow. And for that, what we need to do is we actually need to get a light material out, because the arms are actually pretty far away from the bearings, and if we have a heavy item, it won't lift properly. So we're going to have it go like this. We're going to have a piece right about here with a bearing. And bearing on the other side as well, right about there. And we're going to use these blocks to build the rest of the plow. Now, I don't know how far we need to go out. I think that's a good amount. Okay, there we go. What we can actually do is we could actually build another bearing right about here so it slants out a little bit more. That's good. There we go. And then we could add something like these little pieces here to give the plow a little bit of a teeth-like texture. There we go. I think that looks good. Okay, now we can extend the top piece up a little bit like this. Now hopefully this works. Now what we got to do is we got to connect these bearings to its own controller. Now I got a controller on the inside, so we're just going to hook these up really quick. Just like this. There we go. Okay, now we just gotta get the right constraints. We've gotta make sure these are turning in the right direction. Alright, so the top two, we'll have them go about negative 15. So we're gonna put it in the first constraint right here. Negative 15. Ooh, I think that looks good. Alright, so I think we're gonna actually set that down about 5 to about 10, I believe. There we go. How's that look? Ooh, that looks better. I like that. Okay, now what we gotta do is we got to set the constraints for the arms. Now I already did that, so I got the perfect settings here. So I got 5 and 5. That makes it move upwards. And this is gonna be down about 9 degrees once activated. How's that look? Ooh, there we go. I think that looks sweet. Okay, so this is how it works. We press the button, it lifts, press the button, and it's touching the ground. Now, I don't know if that is going to be good enough, but it might be. Okay, now we can actually probably add to this plow a little bit. Something like that. Give it a little more design. I think that looks pretty cool. I like that. Alright, so there we go. The plow looks good. Now we have 2 bearings on the bottom here, but we don't really need to fiddle with those, as I was going to use those to keep the plow flush to the ground. But I figured out an easier way with the controller constraints. Now we got to add the engines to the wheels. Now this is the annoying part. There we go. This goes here. Alright, there we go. All the wheels are hooked up to the engines. Now we gotta hook the engines up to the seat really quick. And then we're gonna test it out and see how it works. There we go. Let's see how this thing works. Okay, we don't have enough power for this thing. This thing is really heavy. Look at it. Okay, we need to turn up the engine power a bit. I should have added a hood to this thing. There we go. And add a bunch more power. Let's try all the way. Now, we know that's not going to turn out well. But let's try anyways. Okay, let's try this out. Okay, we might have too much power. It is not a war bulldozer. Okay. Yeah, let's turn this down a bit. Right about here seems like it might be good. Oh wow, that does work pretty good. Okay. Sweet. It looks like it has the perfect amount of power. And now I'm just gonna clean this up a bit, give it some paint and more detail, and then we're gonna go test it on the field. Alright guys, so I fully painted the bulldozer and added a few more features, including these hydraulics there, the exhaust pipe, and some lights. Now if you look at the connecting tool right here, you can see all of the connections and it's insane. So we're gonna hop right in, and we're gonna take this thing for a ride. Now, like I said in the beginning of the episode, this thing uses thrusters to turn, which kind of sucks, but it looks pretty good. Alright, we're gonna just head over to the work site over there and we're gonna clean it up. This thing looks pretty sweet. A little slow, but that's fine. We're almost to the work site. We just gotta get a little closer before we put down the plow. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take down this little tiny shelter. Okay, here we go. Gonna put the plow down. Now it doesn't touch the ground completely, but it still works. Here we go. Ah! Oh god, I don't know why that's lagging so much. That's hilarious though. Alright. Okay. We're gonna clean up some of this junk on the ground here. Not sure where we're really gonna clean it up. I guess we're just gonna push it into a pile. Seems to be working pretty good. Okay, gotta back up a bit. Okay, it looks like it's almost in a pile. Doesn't have to be perfect. I like the hydraulics though. I couldn't get it to work properly because the hydraulics actually don't extend. As you can see, they just move. But still pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, almost. Oh, I think that's looks pretty nice. Huh. Anyways, I got one more thing to show you guys. And we're gonna head over there right now. Alright, so we're here. And as you can see over there, there's an old beat up truck, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our plow down and we're gonna ram it at full speed. So here we go. I don't know how this is gonna work. Bang! Oh no! We're going with it too! That didn't work very well. That was hilarious though. Anyways guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. So if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments, and if you have any suggestions about this build, please let me know, and I'm looking for suggestions on future projects as well. So thank you guys for watching and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Remember, stay sweet. Bye.